In the morning of Tuesday, September 11th, 2001, the world was shocked by events that shook the United States and changed the course of history. But the story did not end that day. What followed were political, security, economic, and social transformations whose effects we are still living with today. In this video, we will present the top 5 outcomes that changed the world after 9/11. Some of them are obvious before our eyes, while others have gradually crept in over the years. Before we begin, don't forget to support me with a like and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. The first direct outcome was an explosion of interest in security and surveillance. Before 2001, passing through airports was much faster, and inspections were limited. After 9/11, the picture changed drastically. Body scanners, liquid restrictions, long queues. Travel became synonymous with patience and inspection. But the change didn't stop at airports. Governments invested billions of dollars in electronic surveillance programs and the collection of phone and internet data. New laws, such as the Patriot Act in the United States, opened the door to large-scale monitoring of individuals. These measures sparked a global debate. Is protection worth sacrificing personal freedom? Some societies accepted surveillance in exchange for security, while others saw privacy as a lost luxury. A few weeks later, the military campaign in Afghanistan began, followed later by the Iraq War in 2003. These were not just short operations, but long wars that stretched for nearly 2 decades. The impact of these wars went far beyond the battlefields. The balance of power in the Middle East changed. New armed groups emerged in power vacuums. Hundreds of thousands of civilians lost their lives, and millions were forced to flee. It also pushed countries around the world to reorder their defense priorities. The United States and its allies spent trillions of dollars. This spending affected the economy, education, and healthcare as massive budgets were redirected to the military and intelligence services. The deeper outcome, the return of the war on terror as a dominant idea in international politics. The Cold War or economic competition were no longer the sole driving forces. Instead, the fear of terrorism became a defining theme for entire decades. Do you remember when you could accompany your friend all the way to the plane door? That disappeared after 9/11. New procedures completely changed the travel experience. Shoe screening, removing belts, strict liquid restrictions, advanced metal detectors, then full body scanners, the creation of specialized agencies such as the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, in the US, and its counterparts around the world. All this made travel safer on one hand, but more complicated on the other. Today, travelers must allow extra time, pass through multiple checkpoints, and experience greater stress. But the changes didn't stop at airports. Ports, train stations, and even major events all came under the umbrella of security first. The world of mobility has become fundamentally different. Another, less visible, but highly impactful aspect is the social one. After September 11th, Muslim and Arab communities in the West faced a wave of suspicion and discrimination. Many found themselves repeatedly questioned at airports or under surveillance simply because of their names or appearance. Incidents of Islamophobia rose significantly, from verbal abuse in schools and on the streets to targeted policies in some countries. This affected the integration of millions of people and created a sense of anxiety and alienation. But there's also a positive side. Civil and human rights organizations emerged strongly to defend minorities, and large awareness campaigns were launched to dismantle stereotypes. These movements contributed to driving a global discussion on pluralism, identity, and coexistence. One of the outcomes that some may not directly associate with the events of 9/11 is the global economy. The attacks pushed governments, especially the United States, to spend heavily on defense and security, leading to a rise in public debt. In addition, anxiety in global markets increased, making investors more cautious in certain sectors and less confident in political stability. And when the 2008 mortgage crisis hit, the global economy was more fragile. While the causes of the crisis were primarily domestic financial issues, such as mortgage debts and credit bubbles, the post-9/11 environment, full of tension and instability, undeniably amplified its effects. In other words, 9/11 didn't create the crisis, but it helped shape the conditions that made the world less able to absorb the shock. From security and surveillance to long wars to travel and the economy and even daily social life, 9/11 was not just an ordinary day. It was a major turning point that changed the face of the world. What's your opinion? Do you think the biggest impact was economic, or is the social effect the deepest? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to support the channel by subscribing and turning on the notification bell for more historical stories that changed our world.